Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Yende. Have you ever had a terrible night's sleep and then found yourself craving cookies, chips, chocolate, pizza, or anything sweet and salty the next day? Maybe you told yourself, I deserve it, or I need energy, or I'll get back on track tomorrow. But what if that craving wasn't a failure of willpower? What if your brain was just doing what biology told it to do? Today, we'll explore one of the most important discoveries in modern health science: the powerful link between sleep and food. Sleep doesn't just determine how rested you feel. It changes your hunger, your metabolism, your food choices, your blood sugar, your weight, and even the depth of your sleep the following night. Once you understand this connection, you may never look at sleep the same way again. For a long time, obesity research focused almost entirely on food and exercise. Eat less, move more. Simple. But researchers began noticing something odd. People who consistently slept less tended to weigh more. Large population studies showed those sleeping 5 or 6 hours were more likely to gain weight over time than those sleeping 7 or 8. At first, that was just an observation. Researchers then asked, does not sleeping enough actually cause overeating, or are they just linked? To answer that, scientists brought healthy adults into sleep labs. Some were allowed normal sleep. Others were restricted to much shorter sleep for several nights. The results were striking. Sleep-deprived participants ate significantly more, not because they were told to, not because they lacked discipline, but because their biology had changed. Men and women often respond differently. In men, sleep loss raises ghrelin, the hunger hormone that tells your brain to eat. In women, researchers saw reductions in GLP-1 signaling, a hormone that promotes satiety. In short, men may feel the hunger accelerator pushed harder. Women may have the appetite brakes weakened. Different pathways, same outcome, more eating. Sleep deprivation also affects the brain. Imaging studies show greater activity in reward centers when people are tired, so food looks more tempting and rewarding. That donut becomes a neurological event. On average, people who are chronically sleep-deprived consume an extra 250 to 400 calories per day. That may sound small, but day after day, it adds up. Even if you control calories, lost sleep still matters. When food intake is kept constant, people often become less physically active. Less walking, less fidgeting, fewer unconscious movements. Those micro-movements matter. They contribute to daily energy expenditure. Lose sleep, lose movement, and your metabolism shifts. Sleep loss also harms metabolic health. In studies where people reduced sleep by about 90 minutes per night, a common level of chronic sleep restriction, insulin sensitivity worsened, insulin resistance increased, and blood pressure rose. Cardiometabolic health began moving in the wrong direction. You don't need to pull all-nighters. Even modest chronic sleep loss can change your metabolism. And the relationship goes both ways. Food affects sleep. Diet quality matters. People who eat more like the Mediterranean diet, more fruits, vegetables, nuts, fiber, and healthy fats, and less processed food and refined sugar, tend to sleep better and have fewer insomnia symptoms. That's not a coincidence. It's physiology. One study looked at what people ate during the day and how they slept that night. Higher fiber intake was linked to more deep sleep. Higher saturated fat intake was linked to less deep sleep. More refined carbohydrates were associated with more nighttime awakenings. That means your dinner tonight can influence how much restorative deep sleep you get tonight. Researchers also found that when people chose their own meals instead of eating controlled diets, their sleep changed. They ate more calories, more saturated fat, got less deep sleep, and took longer to fall asleep. The message is simple. Sleep affects food choices, and food choices affect sleep. Together, they can create a positive cycle or a destructive one. So what should you do? Protect your sleep as aggressively as you protect your nutrition. Many people obsess over macronutrients while sacrificing sleep without a second thought. That's a mistake. If you're unusually hungry after a bad night, pause and ask, am I actually hungry or just sleep deprived? That one question can save hundreds of calories. Eat more fiber, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Fiber supports gut health and appears linked to better deep sleep. Reduce excess saturated fat and highly refined sugars, especially later in the day. Aim for dietary patterns like the Mediterranean or DASH diets. Both are consistently associated with better sleep and long-term health. Here's the big takeaway. Sleep isn't just recovery. It's a metabolic regulator, a hunger regulator, a decision-making regulator, a blood pressure regulator, a glucose regulator, a body composition regulator, and a behavior regulator. When sleep declines, almost everything else becomes harder. The future of health isn't just counting calories. It's understanding how biological systems interact. One of the most powerful systems influencing your weight, appetite, and longevity may be something you do or don't do every night. Sleep. I'm Dr. Yende. This is OXYZEN Health Intelligence. Remember, sometimes the smartest nutrition decision isn't what you eat tomorrow. It's getting a better night's sleep tonight. I'll see you in the next episode. Question of the day. Have you noticed stronger cravings after a poor night's sleep? Share your experience in the comments below.